Addictor. Today we have a very special guest with us, Ian Bell, former English cricketer and a cricketing legend. First of all, Ian, welcome to Cricket Addictor.
Thank you.
So you have been in India for quite some time now. You are playing cricket here. So how much do you like being in India?
No, it's obviously great coming back to India. It's been a while since obviously playing for England.
Right.
So touring India was always a good challenge, but also something fun as well that we always enjoyed. It's always a good challenge. But to come back now as a retired player and playing and catching it with a lot of friends from India and from England and around the world, and then to go into a competition like this as well and see some new talent is really exciting.
So GPCL has started, you are leading the English side. How much are you prepared for the series?
Well, I've played a bit of cricket in the Road Safety League that's just happened, but looking forward to it. Obviously, it's not as much about me. Hopefully we're going to see some real good young players come through on all the teams. And that's what this is about. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and meeting all the guys, speaking to as many people and the players about cricket and my experiences, and then if I can pass on any knowledge through my international career and experiences, then that's what this is about.
So recently you have played road safety cricket and now GPCL. So do you feel any kind of stress or pressure because you don't get enough time to rejuvenate yourself? So how do you manage all this stuff?
Not too much anymore. I get more about my coaching career and how that's going. So that's the most important driver for me now. I was very lucky to have a long international career, a long first class career with Warwickshire as well. Playing now is a bit of fun. I'm not too stressed about the outcomes and the results like you used to be. And the coaching is really my driver and what I love doing more now. But this is just a lot of fun, and like I said, seeing a lot of good young players in this tournament, but also catching up with a lot of old friends on all the different teams that we had in the last couple of weeks.
So you mentioned some old friends, some old Indian friends. So who is your best friend or maybe favorite cricketer in Indian side?
I think just playing against India the other day and remembering watching Sachin Tendulkar come out and bat and seeing what he means to everyone in India around the world. He's such a popular player, fantastic, if not the best player of all time. So I think that was always special again to have that opportunity. And also someone like Yuvraj Singh that I played under 19 World Cup against as well. Suresh Raina, that again we played a lot of white ball cricket against. So yeah, lots of players to catch up with. We had some good time on and off the field. But I think just to play against Sachin again, and the atmosphere again of cricket in this country and the fans. When we played India, it was a full house. The atmosphere was amazing, and they're the things you forget. Or you can't get back, certainly when you stop playing international cricket. So that was really exciting and fun for all the players involved.
Yeah, so these leagues have many young cricketers, and many young talents. So these leagues play a vital role in shaping their career.
Yeah, hopefully, and I think that's what the few of us that are, I suppose, senior players and captains on each of these teams is to help what we can. We have got a short period of time in I suppose a week through this tournament, but to be there, to be able to talk to players. Watch a little bit and how they play in these games, and if there's any advice we can hand on, then great. But for all the players in the tournament, hopefully they have, hopefully they come and ask as many questions to all the senior players who are playing in this tournament and pick their brains. Should never be shy of asking questions to players who have been around international cricket. So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
So, and you have played a lot of cricket, and people talk about cricket, and especially men's cricket, but not many people pay that much attention to women's cricket. Don't you think they do not get that credit that they deserve?
I think things are changing quite rapidly. Having been a coach now in the 100, when we're playing double headers now, and I think from the Birmingham Phoenix point of view, playing at Edgbaston, I know the girls were selling out. Or certainly breaking records every time we played at home. I think they had 15,000 in for some of the home games, which is absolutely outstanding. But you can see, year by year, it is picking up momentum, which is fantastic, and it's brilliant to see. And the skill level is going up as it is in the men's game all the time. So it's great. We get a real insight, certainly in the 100. As we said, we train at similar times. We also, like I said, stay in the same hotels, the games are on the same day, so you get a real insight into what's going on, and some really good things, certainly in England, and some fantastic performances from some of the Indian girls as well in the 100, and I'm watching them just beat England as well at home. So there's a lot of talent going on, and you can see the women's game going from strength to strength over the next few years.
Yeah, we're talking about women's cricket, and recently Indian team visited England and they had a historic win in England. There has been a very famous incident of man-kidding. Are you aware about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Dipti Sharma and Charlie Dean man-kidding thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because everyone's got an opinion, but the rules are the rules. And
so, what's your opinion?
Look, the rules are the rules, aren't they? And it's very clear that really she didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
There's a lot of conversation. I mean, people see it from around the world differently, and to be honest, that is the beauty of the game as well.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion. If everyone thought the same way, it would be pretty boring.
Yeah.
So, I think it's fair for people to have their own opinions. And the way the law has been clarified, and that's been happening now for a couple of years now. As a batsman, if you leave your crease, it's fair game. So, look, it is what it is. Let's see how the future unfolds. But like I said, I think that when you talk about the women's game, that probably overshadowed what was a really good series.
Yes, right.
Two very good teams. The skill levels were very high. And I suppose everyone would rather talk about how good the series was on the cricketing side rather than one incident. But there were some really good things.
But you had the quite similar experience when MS Dhoni man-kidded you. You were playing with India and MS Dhoni did the same thing to you, but then he called you back again. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, it was very different. Mine, was a run out. It was the last ball before tea at Trent Bridge in a test match. And, I'd hit the ball out there, and I believe I think it was Kumar who was at deep point or third man and dived to stop the ball, going for four, and then obviously walked after the ball. And it was in a way, it was my fault because I assumed that the ball had gone for four. And the pavilion was on the other side, so I started walking off, taking my gloves off, thinking it was tea and lunch, and the ball was still alive. So in the way of the game, I was technically out. But as we got to the break and there were discussions, obviously MS with probably the senior players in that India team obviously called me back. But when I look back, I mean, again, in a way, like I said, it was my error, and I certainly haven't done it again to assume the ball was dead. And I walked off. Like I said, if it wasn't for a tea break or the pavilion was on the other side of the ground, it wouldn't have happened. It was an honest mistake, and again, that happens in the game sometimes, and I think that's, and it will happen again, as all these other incidents will, in time we'll always come up against these kind of things. But you can say that MS Dhoni in particular and that India team handled things in an incredibly way. There's a lot of talk about the spirit of cricket and what that means and how you interpret it, and everyone interprets it slightly differently. But on that day, I made a mistake, they sort of called me back.
Yeah. So if we talk about England cricket, it's been a long time since you retired. So how things have changed since then, since your retirement?
For me personally, I mean, again, obviously I played, the goal when I finished with England was to go back to my county, Warwickshire, which is, I was born and bred since I was 10 years old at Warwickshire and went through the pathway. So when I retired, I wanted to go back and give a bit of time, because as an England player, you don't get to play a lot of county cricket in your period, in your time as an England player under central contract. So it was nice to go back. And then since then, I've really got stuck into my coaching, done a number of different roles around the world, getting as much experience as possible. So that's my real passion now, is moving on and sharing information and helping young players improve and finding those solutions in T20 test match cricket. So that's been really enjoyable. And I think for the England team at the moment, probably, our white ball cricket in particular has got particularly strong. T20 cricket, test match cricket, apart from this summer, which was brilliant to see, a real great summer to win 6 out of 7 test matches. But that had been a bit inconsistent probably since the team that I played with started to, I suppose, stop playing, and a new team came up. But white ball cricket in particular, England is very strong at the moment. Yeah, so T20 World Cup is coming. What do you think, which team will lift the trophy this time? It's going to be, absolutely fascinating to see how that goes. I think T20 as a format is very difficult to predict. I don't think anyone would have had Australia down to win the tournament in the last time in the UAE. So I think it is that one player has a good day out, then things can change. I probably do have Australia at home favourites in terms of the conditions, the boundaries, the pitches. if everyone's fully fit, they'll have a strong side. But again, there's so many teams there that, you know, again, if everyone's fully fit and they've got their strongest teams, can win that tournament, which is the exciting part. So it's very difficult to call, but I'd probably go with the home advantage for Australia in those conditions. But very excited to see how every team goes.
So if you have to pick 3 players from the England squad of T20 World Cup, who they will be?
Do you know what would be fascinating? I think one that will be fascinating, having come back in now, will be Alex Hales, to see how he goes. And if he gets into the 11, obviously he's had a lot of things go his way. He missed out on an England World Cup squad and for off-field incidents. So him being back in for the first time for a while, I think will be interesting. He's got a fantastic record in the Big Bash, so he knows the conditions really well. So he'll want to do well in this tournament, there's no doubt. So I think he's one to keep an eye out for. I think Mark Wood, we've seen in the recent series now against Pakistan, I think when he's fully fit, bowling fast, he makes the England team a lot better. And then I think again, Adil Rashid has just been Mr. Consistent as well. And I think having a wrist spinner through the middle overs, an attacking option with the spin, is good. But I think one thing, England, have a squad of players that play all around the world now in all different kind of competitions. So in this format, we're sport for choice with a lot of good players.
Okay, so if you talk about Indian cricket, you have been in India, you played a lot of cricket against India. So India is celebrating 75 years of independence, and that's why we are having this GPCL thing. So how do you think how much Indian cricket has evolved over the years? Yeah,
wow, incredibly. Obviously I was always a fan growing up. I remember, watching some amazing series. Actually, I remember one of the first, and I said that's how young or old I am now, but getting the DVD when Laxman and Dravid got that big score, chasing down and beating Australia, in that series. It was such an iconic series, and Australia or India winning that. So there's some amazing cricket in that. So always been a big fan. I think some of my favourite players, as I said, Rahul Dravid, Tendulkar in particular, watching. But I think the amazing involvement, certainly in the last 5-6 years, is, India have always been fantastic playing at home. But I think watching them now, how many series they've won away from home, is a real, involvement in their cricket and their skill set, and probably the fact of the amount of fast bowlers that are coming through now with Bumrah, Shami. There's so many, and obviously the IPL. And obviously the structure has such a big part to play, but I think that's the thing for me now, is that collectively across all 3 formats they're always at the top, but the way they play home and away now is very consistently is incredible. Maybe you could argue 10-15 years ago winning at home was a definite and winning away was hard, but that's the same for every team. But I think at the moment this team, when they go to Australia and they win, I think they've done it twice now. In recent times, and sometimes with injuries to big players. So I think it shows the depth of quality, which is incredible, but also the fact that they can win in tough places around the world, which every team is aspiring to do.
So we have 3 formats: Test cricket and ODIs and T20. Slowly T20 is taking over. We see T20 is going on everywhere. Test cricket is, a little bit, up to some extent, is suffering. It's getting lost. I won't say lost, but it is. We are having less of Test cricket. So don't you think it is a bit stressful thing for cricket?
Yeah, no, I think we've all got, and the current players in particular have the importance of looking after Test match cricket. I think as a player, when you grow up and you play, you judge yourself against the best players of the past about your Test records. So, T20 cricket is fantastic. It's entertaining. But the best players of the past probably never played it, and it has a major part. It's financially very good for the game, but Test match cricket is the pinnacle, really. And we know, I think if you ask any player, winning 5 days of cricket over a T20 game is the most satisfying of all the formats to win. Especially winning a Test match, whether you're in India or whether you're in Australia or in England, doesn't matter. I think. So it's important that the next generation, so that the players now, the Virat Kohlis, Joe Roots, I think the longer they keep going and their emphasis on playing Test match cricket, I think that's really important. And I see that at the moment still. And I have been lucky enough to work with, some of the England under-19 players, and they still see Test cricket as the pinnacle. And we've got to keep that going. The message for the next generation of players is that is the pinnacle of the game. Yes, T20 cricket has a major part, and it's enjoyable, it's fun, and you want to play in all the best leagues. But Test match cricket is what you want to be remembered, and I'm sure that's what Virat Kohli, all the training, all the hard work he does is Test match cricket. Playing over 100 Test matches, scoring all those runs to be in history remembered as one of the great players, which he's going to go down as. And I think that's what Test match cricket offers more than the other formats.
So apart from cricket, what else do you enjoy the most?
Well, having a young family now, so I've got a 7 and a 9-year-old at home, which keep me busy. I obviously love my golf. I actually played at Delhi Golf Club today as well, so I love my golf and my football as well. But the kids at the moment keep me busy. Running them around and making sure they're okay and doing everything they can do. And as I said, the coaching now, obviously going into that since retiring, is a real passion and something that I really love and enjoy. And hopefully I'll have a long career in coaching, taking me around the world again.
So if you're playing overseas, how do you manage things without your family?
It's tough. I think certainly the kids getting older now is certainly tougher. I think I've never really struggled with going abroad. I actually quite enjoyed, going into different countries, different cultures, learning and seeing things and actually taking that back home and into your game and into your personality as well and maturing. So it's something I've quite enjoyed. I never really got homesick too much, but it is a little bit different now with, like I said, the kids are a little bit older, that they get it a little bit more and you have those proper conversations. But I still think you're very lucky, and certainly when you're a player, your career, sometimes you think it's going to last forever, but you realise it's quite a short career. So actually you've got to make the most of every moment you get, and you're travelling to some of the best places in the world and beautiful countries. So you have to enjoy every moment.
So, and right now you're in India. India is having a festival season right now. We have Navratri. Are you aware about these things? Navratri, Deepavali?
Not overly aware of it. Obviously, I know there's some festivals going on at the moment, and obviously the reason why we're playing this tournament as well. But we're obviously embracing and talking to as many people as we can as possible, and learning, like I said, all the time about different cultures and everything that's going on. So enjoying it. We've been looked after incredibly well as always when you come to India. So having a lot of fun.
Have you ever been a part of any Indian festival like Diwali, Holi or anything?
Obviously through friends and stuff. Obviously we have done obviously with Diwali in particular, which is probably more common and more what we know. But certainly have through a lot of friends that we have certainly back home and all around the world really. So but it's like I said, learning and educating, as we've seen all the time. In all sports, it's really important to keep open. There's been a lot of conversations at England, in England, in cricket in particular, county cricket, about culturally and being aware of and opening up and learning more, which I think is really important to do.
Okay, so you have a lot of fans internationally. So what message would you like to give to your fans?
I suppose from my, is thank you for all the support over all the periods of time that I played international cricket. Hopefully in this tournament I can show them a little bit of the old player that I used to be. Thank you so much for all the support over the time. It meant a hell of a lot to me and my family. And looking forward to this week.
And we have many young talents coming up. So one piece of advice would you like to give to the young lot?
I think with cricket, cricket can be a game that's made very complicated. I think the best players keep things very simple. Like I said, when it comes down to batting, you've really got to watch the ball really hard. Everyone has a different technique slightly. There's no one way to be successful, but really keeping things simple, because under pressure, when you play the best players in the world, if you're overthinking the game, it becomes very hard. If you keep things simple, and I think the best players, the Tendulkars, Kohlis, Roots, technically, if they keep it simple, which they've got good techniques, it works better under pressure. So they're the kind of advice I like to give to young players.
So in the GPCL, what will be your approach, attacking or defensive?
Attacking, hopefully. T20, hopefully we'll go out there, whether we win or lose, hopefully we'll go out there and be as aggressive as we possibly can. Be interesting to see today, the first day of the games, the scores. Is it a high scoring ground? Is it turning? Is it not? So that'll be really interesting to see what happens. And then we'll go from there. But hopefully we'll play a nice attacking brand of cricket.
So, and we really hope you have a great season ahead. This is the first season of GPCL. One more question, one last question. What's next after GPCL?
So back home, hopefully a holiday with the family. And then I'm coaching in the T10 in Abu Dhabi as well. So a little bit of time off, and then, like I said, some family time and a bit more coaching, which I'm looking forward to getting stuck into.
Sure. Family must be the priority. Thank you so much, Jan. We wish you all the very best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much for being here.